Hello, welcome to this exciting Sunday live episode I have. Many people can ask me questions and things like that. And before we start off, as usual, I always try to emphasize the English mean. This show is entirely going to be in English language, and I can answer questions in Hindi. It's a popular demand, many people are asking for it. So, one of the things which is asked is why Sattology? There was no antonym of mythology in English language. Now, when we say mythology, it is made of a Sanskrit root word called myth in Devanagari, which is a root word, and combined with logos, which is a Latin or Greek origin. You see, the word is the entire Western etymology or the word's origin is practically unknown. I mean, they may speak a lot about their words, but it's not unknown. So it means science or study, logos means. So mythology means science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. And opposite of that is Sattology, which is based on the opposite of myth in Sanskrit root dhatu is Sat. Sat means truth or eternal. That's why many words come from Sat dhatu. Even Bhagwan Krishna is known as Satchidanand. Vishnu is known as Satchidanand, coming from Sat dhatu. And vocative becomes Satchidanand because Sat Chit Anand, then the Ch addition is added there. So that's the grammatical reasons. Etymological reasons, sorry, not grammatical reasons. So, Sattology means science or study of truth and facts or eternity. Sattology word you should not use, and it is only for the Western audience and those across the world who study the Western or European viewpoint of history. They should definitely not use the word mythology for native cultures, whether it's a South American culture or North American culture or India. Mostly, the word mythology was designed to prove to Indians or Hindus, basically Hindus, followers of Sanatan Dharma, that your culture has no basis. Therefore, they must accept the European version of the history. Now, Europeanism has definitely destroyed more things in the world, including identity, for profit. You know, like they impose their language on every single place they went. So I'm using their language to teach them in English what is their what is their faults. What are their faults? And even though, however accomplished a Western or European born or European origin author may be, I never quote those authors because because the reason is I have to give credit to our gurus, our saints. Even in American meetings, I quote Narad Muni, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pandavas, Sri Ram, Valmiki. I've never quoted a single American author, and I will never do that also in future also because we have enough. We don't need their authors because they keep on changing. And the most important thing is they learn from Vedas and they try to put Christianity into that and tell to others. Like, what is the, I question all the American universities that why a Christian pastor is allowed to teach Sanatan Dharma, but they have no answers to that. Why? Why the Western authors have to only criticize Vedic scriptures, Vedic Shastra? Why? Why is there nothing else to comment on it? Do they have their own cultures to comment on it? Own books? No. The answer is no, they don't have. There is nothing in Abrahamic literature that is worth commenting because there is no discussion allowed in those Shastra. Whatever, I don't call them Shastra, they're just opinions. There's no discussion over there because if you can't ask a question. you know I give, most I'm just so surprised that in a land of Sanatan Dharma or the Vedic culture, which is Bharat today, people are getting converted to something which there has no basis, no scientific basis. It's covered in my book Gold, Glory, and God. I'll do one of the future shows. So do suggest me your topics which you want me to speak on. And also, today's show is going to really blow off your mind. And it is based on my book, which is already in my hand now. I showed a couple of times. The famous five, if you can see clearly. There's a lot of lighting in the studio, so therefore The book is shining book. It's a thick book. It's around 350 pages, 330 pages actually total, and 321. Sorry, 321, and maybe it will become a little bit 322. The famous five, and also people who, if you're in the Australia, US, UK, and any of the Western countries, Canada, you can buy this book in print physically. I always advise people to get a physical copy. So on Mahabharat, I have written three or four books. One is the Gita translation I've done, the Narad Muni, which is there, and then we have Yudhishthir, the greatest emperor, Samrat Yudhishthir, the greatest emperor, and then we have Pandavas, the famous five. These are four books on Mahabharata I've written from different perspectives of Mahabharata, and you can get those copies on Amazon, which is available for these four countries from Amazon. If you're from India, then then my books are coming from Kapoth Publications, kapoth.in, and you can, I will show you also. There you can get two copies, and the third one is coming. This one will be available in India shortly because this is written for so it will be much beautiful cover in India than this one. This is a simple American cover. So today, before I begin, first of all, I want to correct your misconceptions about. See, there is so much in our Shastra. If we follow, then we are already the thought leaders of the world today. Thought leaders. There's so much in our Shastra, so much. And if you look at the Mahabharat evidences, Brahmana evidences, Bhagavad Purans evidences, and other Purans, I'm also studying now Manusmriti, Yoga Sutra, and Yoga Vasishta. I've got all those books with me now. I'm studying them, and I read in Sanskrit directly because over the years I've developed that habit of learning and reading through Sanskrit directly. Now, if you read them, you will be shocked to know the amount of information contained in them. For few, like for 10, 15 pages, I'm able to write 300-page book. Just imagine how much is there. 100,000 shloka are there in Mahabharata today available to us, and these are meant for us to read. These are not meant for us to normally when we read, we want to tell others, you know one line and you want to tell others. That is a very good habit, you must do that. But even better than that is you read 100 and tell one. you know my principle is I share 4 or 5% of what I know, because there are a lot more things require some qualification, patratva. But by reading you can develop that patratva. So like if you read my books, you'll be inspired to read original Mahabharata or original Ramayana more, because I make it attractive for you to read it. And I'll share all my books on the screen, and then I'm going to take you on the adventures of Pandavas today. It's a part one of the show. I'm going to do at least 10 or 15 shows on just adventures of Pandava. Where did Pandavas go? Where they took birth? And I'll show you geographically where it all happened. Because somehow, because of the British India map, we are being told or programmed to show the entire Mahabharata in the current map of India, which is totally not correct. And that's where I'm going to show you today exactly the Mahabharata geography. You have no idea how vast is Mahabharata, you know. And in future, I'm going to also take you on the geography of Ramayana. Okay, one show only on geography of Ramayana. See, now where is my motivation coming from? Vyasdev says, now again Srila Vyasdev, Bhagavan Vyasdev says that unless you connect to the bhumi or the land where you have taken birth, you will not be able to understand Adhyatma. Very prophetic statement. And I must tell you, that is a very factual statement, because people who have taken birth in the bhumi of Bharat, river of Ganga, bhumi of river Ganga, Yamuna, Narmada, Saraswati, Kaveri, Narmada Jalesmin, then Sanidim Kuru, like there's a shloka over there. This land is special. And when you have taken birth over there, and when you connect with the land in there, you are automatically connected to the heroes of that land. Heroes means our leaders, Shrestha. Sanskrit word is Shrestha. Now, Shrestha means a person who is superior in knowledge and wisdom. eh, Automatically you would like to know more about it, just like you want to know more about your ancestors, your village, you want to know about your city, you want to know about your country. The moment you're connected to the land, anyone who is connected to the land and the culture of that land, the problem the European mindset is, or colonial mindset is, they have sold faith, or using force or coercion by money, and they want the slaves to follow the faith of their masters. That creates problem. So a person might be living in India but having the mindset of a Middle Eastern. you know Person having a faith, living born in USA, but having the mindset through faith of Middle East. you know Both Christianism, Judaism, Islamism have come from the same land, so they are not connected to the local land. And what they have done is they've destroyed the local native cultures. They are not connected to the land. They have no loyalty to the local land other than the money and the income and things like that. But they're not connected to local land. Their faith is still coming from Middle East. So those are all the slaves. These are the slaves of the large organized systems of religion. But today, once you understand Mahabharat and the global spread of Mahabharat, then you will gradually come to know that how vast is the factual information, or how vast the spread of Sanatan Dharma was and is. Sanatan Dharma is still there in every land where it was there present before. Because without Sanatan Dharma, nobody will be able to live their life or livelihood, earn their livelihood, or even will try to exactly innovate, because innovation is built on past, not on the future. It is built for the future, but the basis is the past. Because what are you innovating on? You need to understand, what are you innovating on. You need to have some benchmark, some base on which you innovate. So today I'm going to take you there with the maps, and to purposely try to show the maps, and for a simple reason, because maps, they tell you, they connect you to earth. This, first of all, these are my books on Amazon, and those of you who would like to go on Amazon and check them out, you can do that. And also my books are available on Kapot. So if you go kapot.in, and in kapot.in you will see my books on, you can search my name, Aditya Satsangi, or you can search on the titles. Easy to search for on my name, and so you can always see the titles over there. Very good website, very clean website, and they are my publishers of my book in India. So I'll show my screen over there. So these are the books available in India. You can see, and today I'm speaking on the famous five, but One Arrow, One Kill, Gregorian God, and the Gita, the making of a statesman, Samrat Yudhishthir, the greatest emperor, Karma. Now, the same books available in India at a much cheaper cost for people who would like to purchase them. Like I said, physical copies are more important than the uh, because you can store it, you can refer to whenever you want to, and Kindle also is available. People who are used to Kindle, they can search me the books on Kindle as well. So this is the books available on Kapot, and I'll be in India shortly. I'll be signing those books in person in Delhi, Goa, Kerala, and Trivandrum. I'll be there mostly, and also in Trichy. I'm coming to Tamil Nadu also this time. So check out that schedule. I'll be posting on my Instagram. You can follow me, my full name, Aditya Satsangi, on Instagram. You can check me out over there. So let us begin today's journey. Okay, today's journey is very important, and let's. Its entire program is in English because some people were really killing me in the US, trying to tell me you are not showing in English, and I always get pulled over that you don't speak in Hindi, and both sides it happens. So let us travel to the Mahabharat geography. So one thing I must tell you, we have not understood Pandavas yet. We always try to make it just Arjun as the hero of of Mahabharata. We always try to make Nakul as a hero of Mahabharata. I mean, Nakul, Sahadeva are considered just as a subordinates, assistants. You know, and and Bhim is also considered not so importantly. So I have debunked everything all like that from my book, The Famous Five, Pandavas, The Famous Five. In my book, also I debunked that completely. Now I must show you, this is the map of India, which is show today's India, and it is very small. You know, just this is the map of India. This is actual map. If you see, it's small. But if you look at the Mahabharat era, if I search on Hastinapur is somewhere here. Hastinapur is near Delhi, but somewhere north, little bit northeast of Delhi, today's Delhi. Today's Nai Delhi or Delhi is Indraprasth. So Indraprasth was on the banks of Yamuna, on the eastern side of Purv of Indraprasth was Yamuna, which is again today is also true. Uh, and because Indraprasth was on the west banks of Yamuna, which is correct. So between Hastinapur and Indraprasth, there is no river. If you can see my arrow, can you see my arrow? All of you can see my arrow? Okay. There is no river in the middle, right? And the Hastinapur is the basis of, if you look at Hastinapur, this is the capital. Okay. Now, if you look at the map of the entire Asia, now this is the Asia. Okay. And those of you can see me, can you see my mouse moving in the desert right now? Opposite in the Xinjiang province, Xinjiang. Can you see me? This is Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. And you will see this place, which is Almaty. Almaty city is here. Hmm? And this is the, so now Mahabharat, now let's begin the Mahabharat for five Pandavas. Very grossly misunderstood. The five leaders of Pandavas, five Pandavas, very grossly misunderstood. The reason they are grossly misunderstood is for a simple reason that somebody wanted to us to not read Mahabharat or have faith in Mahabharat, and that's the reason they are purposely misunderstood. There is a campaign so that we don't understand Pandava, and that is what I have debunked in my book Pandavas, the famous five, available on Kindle as well as on print in the West and Japan and other Netherlands and many other countries. I'll show you which countries are available, and Canada is available. So the birth, first of all, and that's why it's a first show, and I'm going to make it a 5 or 6 shows so that you understand where we are going to. Earlier I was doing it without a book, now doing a book. And my next book is coming on 108 meditations, which is coming shortly, based on the popular demand in the US by the yoga community. So they want me to clarify Yoga Sutra, and I'm doing it in my own way. So I'm using Patanjali Yoga Sutra, combining them in Bhagavad Gita, and giving cross references that how Patanjali used the Ramayana and Mahabharata to write Yoga Sutra, and the information coming from Markandeya, Maitreya, Vidura, and all those other great sages that we have. So come on, we'll get started on the maps today. If you can see my map clearly, just text me over there if you can see it, so that I know that you guys are seeing it. Let me just make it bigger. So this is Delhi, this is Hastinapur, okay, and this is the Asia, which is Jambudweep. Jambudweep, Jambudweep is the entire Jambudweep, and somehow this is called a separate division here. You know, from this area onward is a separate division, which is uh, called the Shaka Dweep. This side is Shaka Dweep, and this area is a division here, is Shaka Dweep, and This area is also considered part of uh, the Abhira Desh. So this is Sindhu Desh, Abhira Desh. All these names are very recent. These names have come in during the last 1400 years, 1500 years, not more than that. These names are new names are there since you can say 7th century onwards, 8th century. So it's just you can say 8th century plus 2022 is 1400 years exactly. You know, in fact, most of the Western Abrahamic history was made up in the 9th or 10th century. Not even more, it's not even old. But if you look at the land mass, so by popular admission, this is Jambudweep and this is Kushdweep. So Jambudweep, Shakadweep, Kushdweep. Now, but sometimes sorry, it's called Pushkardweep, Pushkardweep. So Shakadweep, Jambudweep, Pushkardweep, all connected, all connected. You know, if you look at the Twitter handle that I have, if you go to the Twitter handle, there is there's a names of mentioned over there. Let me just open my Twitter handle. If you go to Twitter at Sattology, you can easily search it over there. You know, and as soon as you search over there, you'll see the maps over there. You can see the maps. It's in my books also. So if you look at the map here, Asia and the Asia and Pushkar Dweep, Jambu Dweep and Pushkar Dweep connected by land. You know, this small division was made as a Suez Canal to it's one land practically. It's one land. Now, if you reduce the ocean down to 7,000 years back, 6,000 years back, 8,000 years back, many of these lands will be visible. These are all island chains, island chains. Very clearly, Bhagavad Purana says, across from Sindhu Desh, so this is called Abhira Desh, this entire region is called Abhira Desh, and this is also called Abhira Desh. This is also called Abhira Desh, Abhira. And Abhira Janjati is generally referred to this region by all the great acharyas in geography, teachers, and other things. And but this is Jambudweep. But if you look at this area now, go south this way. If I reduce the ocean level down further, by land people can go here. Small areas like there is a people can find a way to come here, jump here, then come here, come here, come here. Like all the entire it's practically navigable. Look at this area, like small distances. So people can go on land, or if the ocean levels are slightly lower, can do that easily. So practically 11% of the earth, 25% of the earth, okay, and this is another 3% or 4% of the earth. 45% of the earth can be traveled totally. You know, my mathematics can be wrong, but generally I've calculated total to be 45%, you know, can be covered. And even more than that is can be covered here. You know, if you remove. Now, if I go on this side, this is I'm trying to debunk your mental conception that everything is so far off. The whole planet is connected by land. Was land. If you slightly the oceans will go down. Look at this. So Jambu Dweep is connected to Shalmali Dweep, Shalmali Kushak Dweep. You know, so the maps are. Let me just open my diagram so I can tell you exactly what I'm referring to, and which is so. So Africa is referred to as Kronchudweep. South America is called Plakshadweep, and North America is called Pushkardweep. It's called Pushkardweep. You know, South America is called Shalmali Dweep. So practically the whole Earth is connected. Practically, I mean the divisions we see. You see, you tell me which area is not connected by land. You know, small. Africa is connected. North America is connected on the northeast side uh, of uh, of Jambudweep. You can see this, and it is a well-known fact. Well-known fact, and you can study in the various. independent studies also, that couple of thousand years back, this area was fully, there was a 1,000 kilometer stretch of land connecting the two continents here. And we all know that Jarasandh, when the Jarasandh was being told, uh, when Yudhishthira was being told that Jarasandh controls 25% of the Earth's land mass. See, 11% is only Africa. The total Africa is 11%, and Africa is such a big land that entire United States. I live here. I live right here in San Diego. You can see the map here. I'm speaking to you from here, very far away from you. So, speaking from here, and some of you are in the states also watching the show. I'm speaking from here, this city, and practically, the entire United States can fit into just the Sahara Desert. So on the map like this, it is shown much bigger, but the size is smaller than this. This is not a real map. This is a navigation map. Therefore, the size appears bigger, but it is not that big. Africa is a much bigger continent, much bigger continent. In fact, even the once you calculate the areas properly, you'll find out it's a much bigger. You can see the Africa. So the entire United States can fit into this part of Sahara Desert. That's it. This is so big continent, such a big continent, you know. And you can fit in Russia here, you can fit Canada here, you can fit India here, you can fit Australia here. It's a huge land, huge land. And practically all the continents are connected, all of them, except North Pole. North Pole is here. This is also, you can see it, that it is very much approachable through various ways. North Pole and South Pole, you'll be shocked to see why I'm showing you this, so to debunk your misconception that everything is so far away, you know, here. And I will also show you what all these islands mean. Right now, this is occupied by the French. There's a French military base here. There is a American military base right here. And people do not have any idea that this is the American military base right here. Chagos Archipelago, you know, the military base here. And these Andaman Nicobar Islands, Indian Andaman Nicobar Islands, is almost touching Indonesia, almost touching there, and also easily approachable from Burma, you know. And there's a Coco Islands here, which is occupied by the Chinese right here. See, the point is, by showing you the atlas, this is a real one. Again, misconception. You know what is a misconception is, oh, Pandavas, how did they travel abroad? How did they go abroad? It's all connected land. If people from this area can come to loot India, like people came from here to loot India, this area, land, people come generally came from here to loot India, they can also, Indians can also go there. Same route they use here, same route we can use there. And if you look at the Mahabharat map of Bharat, so the same thing, we have to stop thinking like a victim all the time. We have to start thinking in a more Mahabharat point of view. See, people who read Mahabharat, they're not scared of small thugs, you know. We are not scared of anyone. We are only scared of our own karma, nobody else. Now, millions of times, and so many shastra, in my book Pandavas, the famous five, in that book I've covered the geography, very clearly explained that the Surya Dev goes from the east of Meru Dev. So this is the biggest land, okay, and it is right in the most prominent location of the earth. See, Asia is always Asia. Nowadays, call it Asia. Jambudvip. Jambudvip is right in the center and is the biggest landmass. Everything else is periphery. Periphery. Periphery means it is like a smaller lands, less population, unlivable. People tell me, and I have also Shastra I have seen. Sugriva was told. Sugriva came here, this area. Sugriva's armies came here, and I proved it in multiple times in my book, and Valmiki mentions it. Sugriva very clearly mentioned he came to this area, and he went all through the mountains here and the jungles here. Okay, it's nothing was known, unknown. Okay, And people may think, oh, people may laugh at it, but I'm just referring to the shloka in Valmiki Ramayana. Don't laugh at me, laugh at Valmiki Ramayana. And if you have problems, ask him directly. We are just referring to what Valmiki says, because we know that Valmiki doesn't change. All the Western sciences and Middle Eastern and most of the people who are in Islamism area, they have no idea about anything because they depend on the Western academics to prove their own self. You know, Followers of Mahabharat Ramayana, we are the original thinkers. We are not dependent on anyone, including Americans. Most of the Indian Americans of our community here, we are the leaders of the society of USA also. So now coming to the American map, again South America is connected by land, completely connected. And Sugriva was here in Peru. Lot of ancient things are there, and they travel this way and south. We'll cover sometime later, but just to give you an idea, these are all mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana, but they did not go above this, generally above this. So to this area they must have definitely come, and maybe to some extent they have come to this area also. This is the Grand Canyon over here, Grand Canyon somewhere here. But the rest of the north was completely covered in snow, right till the top. you know Completely. Even today, this part is still in snow, looks white. But this was completely thick block of ice. Now, during the time of, if you want to, during the time of, let me just see if I can rotate it further. Yeah, difficult to manage this way. Let us just do that. Okay, back. So, so that is a Sugriva is already covered in that atlas. So Sugriva's atlas we have done show with Nilesh, and also we have done other shows, and my book also I've mentioned very clearly. Now if you look at the directions here, because you have to see Mahabharat from a different point of view. And I always say look at geography, because adventures of Pandavas, you will not understand how great were Pandavas if you understand the length and breadth of their achievements, and why Yudhishthir is considered the richest samrat ever in all respects, on knowledge, in adhyatma, in civilization, in wealth, in military outreach. Nobody. And during Mahabharat time, this line imaginary from Kashyap Sagar, this is Mount Meru right here. Today is called Khan Tegri. Okay, Kashyap. This line, and just below Meru is Mandar. you know so this is the center of the, practically the major land of earth. So the entire movement is seen from the Meru Parvat point of view, Meru Parvat. And if you look at because see, the other lands are also connected, other lands are also connected. uh, I have to move it horizontally. Let us see how to do it. Okay, so other lands are also connected, and I'm rotating over there. North Pacific Ocean, Honolulu, all those lands on the top are still connected. Okay, so the Asia is, you can see the connection over there, and and exactly on the opposite side of the Earth is South America, exactly on the opposite side. Now, Krishna mentioned in Mahabharata that now Parshuram incident had already happened in Treta Yuga, because Parshuram had already finished Kshatriya 21 times by that time. Dashrath Maharaj, when Parshuram meets Sri Ram takes away his powers. Okay, he punishes him for showing arrogance to Dashrath Maharaj. Now here, and that is on account of Valmiki Ramayana. So here, if you see the map here, all connected lands, snow everywhere. So the migration from, so Krishna says the Nimna Koti Kshatriya, I mean, all were defeated by Parshuram, but he says Nimna Koti Kshatriya went to the west from here. They went this way. And if you look at that, the the entire Aryan invasion theory is debunked on the basis of Valmiki Ramayana. You don't have to go even further. If you believe in Valmiki, then Valmiki says in that Parshuram's time also, the migration happened towards the east because of fear of Parshuram. And the Uchchakoti Kshatriya, Uchchakoti means they were more civilized, but they were still scared of Parshuram. They went to the east here. So they're all coming here, east. So the migration definitely happened here. And why do the Native Americans, my question to Americans is always, why do Native Americans have the same genes as Indians? Our genes is same as them. In fact, the entire Middle East carries our genes also. If you go by the genes theory, this is much later. Genes theory. And so most of them should be following Sanatan Dharma in the Middle East also. And they must be Hindu. They should become Hindu if you don't want to. But the native populations have very much similar cultures. First of all native cultures follow uh, Surya Puja, Chandra Puja, Vayu Puja, Antariksha Puja, Ashtadisha. You know, if you go to South, in some of the later shows, I'll do that. So, unless you understand this geography, you won't understand the greatness of Pandava. Not possible. Because you have no idea what Pandavas are. Pandavas did something which no human has ever done on this earth. And it's a very recent history. See, from the point of view of eternity, 7,000 years, 8,000 years is nothing. What to speak of Abrahimism based cultures? They are very small, very recent. Like they are like a very shallow, they keep changing, and more people lose human rights in Abrahimism cultures. More people. Even in the US, in the US, due to secularism, church is kept outside the government. But if church was in the government, none of us will be here because we don't want to follow what they do. No, we have to retain our own thought, independent thought. So here now, coming back to this map here. So if you study the Ramayana, Mahabharat, Bhagavad Puran, or any other scripture, Meru Parvat by all definitions comes here because that's right in the center. And very logical also. And Uttar Kuru starts here. This is all Uttar Kuru. Uttar Kuru means the land of civilized people. Kurukshetra is here, but the Uttar Kuru is mentioned. Like even it is mentioned in the Shastra that Krishna brought the peak of the Meru mountain here in Dwarka. Dwarka we had already shown to be here. Dwarka is somewhere here in the middle because the mountains on this side, north and south are right exactly like that. And Latavest is here. Latavest is somewhere here. It's a multicolored hill. Mm. So Uttar Kuru is right here. There is no other place Uttar Kuru other than that. And very clearly mentioned, Shaloba Nadi, all are here. The bamboos, they are all here. And now, if you look at this is the Himalaya. Himalaya was always there. Himalaya was there during Ramayana time also. Himalaya is here during Mahabharata time also. People say Vedic period earlier. No, no, Vedic period is still going on. Kali Yuga is still going on. Vedic period never stops. It's going to stay in the future also. Very clearly from Hastinapur, Pandu Maharaj is going up, and this is the region of Gandhamadan mountains. Narakasur what happened here. Narakasur. You will see the entire area very rugged, as if like somebody's bones are lying here. Bones. Vishnu killed Narakasur. Bhagwan Vishnu did that. So Narakasur episode here, which is, and then further up, and there are other lands. So all these people see that these lands, Tajikistan, and all these are recent names. They came up in the last 900 years, 800 years only. The whole Mughal rule of 1,000 years is a fake news, and there are much better authors than me, Omendru Ratnoji and other people. They have done better work on that. I have not done any work on that. My focus is only on Ramayana and Mahabharat only, and generally these areas. So they've done a better work on that, and you can read their books and see what they're saying. So generally, from Mahabharat point of view, you see the entire land, Uttar Kuru, is a very accessible land, very accessible from to the west, very accessible to the east. So this Bhumi, Bharat Khande means Jambudvip's Khanda. Bharat is not called Jambudvip. Jambudvip is the Asia, but Bharat Khande means special land for the Deva, for Devta. So anyone who takes birth in this land is considered spiritually advanced in the world, and that is true historically, time immemorial. So don't ever get into the propaganda that if you're taking birth here, see, if you live here and follow the culture of these guys, then you will always feel yourself to be inferior, because these guys always felt inferior. Al Buruni says that most of the 11th century Islamic scholars see, this is the entire land is called Parsi. This is a Parsic land, including to Armenia, Georgia. These are all Parsic land in Mahabharat terms. Okay, this is Gandhar, and this is Parsic land totally. They always felt inferior to here, and that is mentioned in the words of Madri to Kunti. Madri says to Kunti that I am a Bahalik Kumari. Bahalik is this area, Bahalik. Bahalik is the west, northwest of Parsik. And there is a small area, Turkey. This is called a Yavana Desh, because these are barbaric people, historically barbaric people. But they were always defeated by people from here. Always. Even Mahabharat times and even today also. In 1914, World War One, the Ottoman Empire was destroyed by the Indian soldiers fighting under the British flag, and therefore these guys are always scared of Indian soldiers. Always, won't stand Indian soldiers in fighting, in terms of fighting historically, not just today. See, I'm not a military analyst much, even though I have a lot of interest. I can challenge many people on military facts, but anyway, it's just my hobby. But the point is, from Mahabharat point of view, if I look at it, then these are all people impressed from people from here. We were their role models, you know. And there is very famous. I've been trying to contact him, Manoj Rakta. If you're hearing my show, my tribute to you. You have done a wonderful analysis on the history of India, Manoj Rakta. If you read his books, I've got his two very thin books, and sometimes I ask my team to find out more about him. They did contact him, and I've not heard anything. But anyway, and very good analysis he has done, Manoj Rakta. These are the unknown publishers, practically none unknown, but their research is amazing, simply amazing. And so he mentions very clearly the Parsic scholars. I call them Zoroastrians. Zoroastrians are Persians, real Persians. Today's Iranians are not Persians because they have taken the mindset of this stone culture. Okay, we are not stone culture. We are the Vedic culture. So the Parsic were impressed by here, from here. S- All of these people thought this land to be the leaders. We are today also. We have independent thoughts. Unless only those people who take birth here and they retain the culture of this land, they are the servant. They're the slaves. They're slaves because they have to follow what the master says. Kill them, kill Hindus, kill Kafirs. All this nonsense goes on. But this land was always the leader, will always be the leader, and again it will come back because that is the nature of this land. This land cannot be taken away. This is protected by Devta from here. Himalaya is a natural protection. Desert is a natural protection. Ocean is a natural protection. Just look at the position of this land, protected from all sides by nature. You know, but uh, this is the probable area of birth of Pandavas, right in the north. And the people say Aryans came from west, or total useless arguments. Arya means one who follows Veda, and Balik Madri refers to Kunti as Arya Kumari. So Aryavrat is the land south because it produces maximum Arya, civilized people, south of Himalaya and north of Vindhya. This land is called Aarevrat. So Aarevrat is this big land, huge land, because Ganga is flowing right here, she's going right down. So this all land is Aarevrat. The maximum civilized people on the planet take birth here. No other place can be called civilized, because how can you be called civilized? You drink cow's milk, you eat cream, and you kill the cow. Where is gratitude? A civilization is built on gratitude and compassion. And so when you're ungrateful in your eating habits, how can you be called Arya? So people who kill cows, and it was cow killing was even going on during Mahabharat time also, and that time it was punishable offense by law. The militaries would go out to defeat those people or kill that person or destroy that person, put in jail, whatever it's happened. You know. So this entire land was covered in snow. Most of it is covered in snow. This land. So only this part was livable to some extent. This part was always green, always green. Some parts were covered in snow, but generally this part was green, this area. And then this is the area which the life used to happen, mostly this area. You know, this is where great rishis were there. And you'll be shocked to know that Astachal is refers to this area, because south of Astachal is Varunalaya. This is Varunalaya. So the Surya Dev in Mahabharat map goes from the east of Meru and sets in the west of Astachal. This is a path given to Surya Dev according to Mahabharat and Purana, all Purana also. So there is no confusion between Purana and Mahabharat, because they are written by the same person or same group of people, disciples of Vyasdev. And Astachal and Udyachal, the boundary of the eastern direction, is called this area. That's why if you are on the equator, you'll always see on the Peru, the sun will be rising right on the top, right on the top. I've been there many times and know what it is, and I can share it. The next time when I go, I'll make videos. Earlier, I never used to make videos, so nowadays I started doing it. you know. So this is a very interesting geography. This is just a part one of the show, just to get you an idea that we did. So when Arjun went from Hastinapur, he went he went zigzag way. He went north, then slightly east. He crossed over all these mountains. This is the land of lakes, entirely land of lakes, which is the same description of Kubera's land. This is all Kubera's land, Yaksh Rakshas. That's why China, even though China is troubling people in Uyghur right here, somewhere here, but China is not able to conquer this area. Even the planes don't fly straight over there, because there are many videos on YouTube. You can check it out. Because it's 10,000 feet and above, the planes, transporters, and radars won't function over there. And satellite communication is also lost over there because of the atmosphere. That's why this is called the roof of the planet. And China was a taxpayer country. We all know Beam went all the way here. So now, if you look at the vision, and Rishi is showing them, like somewhere here, Gandhamadhan mountains. He's showing them. He's saying all the way to the ocean. Mandar mountain goes all the way to the ocean. Now, in the north, he's pointing out Mandar mountain goes all the way to the ocean, right here. Hills go all the way here. Generally, they refer to there. Come here all the way. So China, people, if you look at from Mahabharat point of view, then China always followed philosophy from here, Hastinapur, this area, always, traditionally. And that's why I'm going to write an article future in my first book. I've covered Dharma Commonwealth, but see that the point which I'm trying to say is that there is so much of information right there, you know and I'll answer all your questions today. So just understand the part one of the show. The if Unless you understand the geography, you won't understand the greatness of Pandava. So great were they. All five were equally powerful. Hmm? And and so let us. I'll take some questions. There are 9 minutes left, so I'll take some questions. I'll stop the video and I'll take some questions. Sachin Umrani, yes, absolutely. I like your statement. Wow, because we were not told all these things. We were told not to keep Mahabharat at home, not to read Mahabharat. It creates problems in the family. In fact, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharat. When you keep Mahabharat in the house, you get prosperity, not problems. Okay, you do understand that. And then Rahul, by name of your hometown in India. I don't understand your thing, Lord Dajjal. I'm vengeance. Okay, I don't understand what you're saying. And Sachin Umrawat, you read my book, The Global Footprint of Ramayana, you'll get an answer with proofs. There are 12 proofs I've given from the Surya Siddhanta and many other scriptures. You can check it out over there. Okay. So there are not many questions today. So thank you for joining the show today and being with me on Sunday. It's Sunday, every Sunday is a live session, and you can bring your friends and families and do share it. Our YouTube viewership is, people keep on having pity on us that our viewership is way less than what we deserve. Okay. But so I like that concern, but we are not able to do much because we are registered in the USA, and generally it is not shown in India due to Google's algorithms. But we will continue. So just you can do that. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining the show, and I will see you later sometime in the next Sunday on the live show. But keep watching. Every day there are special shows happening. Namaste.